Myself in the queue Thursday.
We're live. Did he just go? Did he freeze? We're live. Does he not hear us? Coach, we can't hear what
yes,
you're
I hear you. I hear you.
We can't hear it, though, but we can't hear it. That means they can't.
I got you.
Hold
I
over.
forgot to unplug it.
TV timeout.
It's time to get in the huddle with your host, Coach Muddle.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the huddle. Of course, technical difficulties. We're a little partly sunny. I got some lighting issue going on as well. So let me see if I can.
Lighting issue. You got a lot of issues going on.
A lot of issues. So I'm going to try and slide my gimmick here and get around to. Oh, there we go. A little better with the light
that
now.
great shiny face, huh? Hey, now we're talking.
So now we got a little better issue going on. Let me see if we can figure out what the hell we're doing this morning. So good morning. Welcome, everyone. We got a big show packed, packing in an hour here as we get ready for Sunday, week 7. Nevada Nick will have his picks coming up. And, of course, Stizz, your girl's go-to, and his prop bets and get you up to snuff on your fantasy football things. But Nevada Nick, where do you want to start this morning? We're going to go with what?
We'll start with the Eagles, all right? Just to, and then we'll get into your 5. We'll go by records. So we'll start with the Eagles. Right? I guess the Eagles have one more win than the Giants. I don't even know right now. They're both pretty much pitiful.
They're both in the toilet.
Yeah. So we'll talk about Eagles Raiders today. Look, Lane Johnson coming back for the Eagles. I think that's a big deal. But once again, it's going to come down to it feels like we've been saying this not just every week this year. It feels like we've been saying this for 3 years. Are they finally going to run the ball? Are they finally going to, let Miles Sanders become a part of this offense? I mean, I think he should be the focal point of this offense because, especially now with Ertz gone, he's your best player on offense, weapon-wise. I mean, right. I like Devontae Smith, but still, Miles Sanders is your veteran presence. Right now. I know he's a young guy, but he's definitely your best weapon, and you need to utilize it with that offensive line. I mean, like I said, when you get Lane Johnson back this week, they have a good offensive line. You need to run the football. And I think, again, one of the weaknesses of the Raiders, too, is their run defense. So the Eagles need to run the football today. And, Sirianni really needs the confidence in him is incredibly low, and he needs to show some competency because after that Falcons game, the bar was kind of set high. It's like, wow, this guy's a great coach. And then it's just been high schoolish. I mean, it really is. With the penalties, I mean, one run in the first half, it's been pretty pathetic if you ask me. So I think it's a big game for the Eagles to put it together today. And no matter what, if anything, you gotta show an attempt to establish a running game today for the Eagles.
I agree with that. 100%.
All right, good.
I think if Sirianni gets his head out of his ass this week and finally realizes that that's what you need to do is run the ball, I think they'll be in good shape. And I think he may do it this week. To be honest with you, getting Lane Johnson back is going to be a huge positive. And you watch, they start feeding Miles Sanders the ball early, which, we cross our fingers. We hope they do. Who knows? It's out of our hands. You're going to see a lot less pressure on Jalen Hurts, and you're going to see him feeling more confident, and you're going to see Devontae Smith balling out today. But it all depends on game script. It all depends on that running game.
Stizz, the most important thing you just said, I think, is early. Honestly, they need to do it early. This whole, we just, how this happened and then how this, no, you know what? Give them the ball early. I don't care. If it's the first 3 plays, just do it. Like, they need to get him the ball because it keeps happening. It's like, well, this happened and that happened. We didn't have the ball a lot. And I don't want to hear the excuses. Right. Try to establish the running game. Try to establish it early because that's what's going to get that offense going and get that offensive line going. And look, I think it should be, look, that's the strength of the Eagles team right now on offense is your offensive line. So use it, and then it's going to make guys like Goddard, Smith, all of them better because I think after game 1, they kind of got a little, maybe these weapons are really good. And look, I think they're improved, the Eagles' weapons on the outside, but Smith's still young. I like Quez Watkins, but he's still young. You need to give it to your most reliable guy on offense, Miles Sanders. And not just that, too. We're not even talking about. Let's help Hurts out a little bit. I'm not in love with how he's, and how he's played, but they're putting too much pressure on him too. They're asking him to do way too much right now. So help him out a little bit, establish the run game, and try to get out there and have a good game plan against the Raiders today.
Well, another point is what's happening is that they're getting behind real early in the game.
Right.
They're going 3 and out. How many times they go 3 and out, the first 3-4 possessions, they're getting behind by 10, 14 points. Now you're kind of forcing. Now you're kind of forcing game script and you're forcing Jalen Hurts to throw the ball to get you back in the game, or run for first downs. And it's just that's just not what you want to do. That's just not what you want to do as a football team. You want to be balanced.
Right. Plus, coach will tell you too. All right, yeah, Coach.
No, go ahead. What I was going to say is, one, I think somebody with senior experience, and I'm not familiar with the staff, has to really sit down and tell Sirianni, listen, we need to run the ball or we're going to be fired.
Right.
Because but back to what you said, Stizz, with they get down early, and I feel like the Eagles push the panic button. They're automatically, oh my God, we're behind. We need to start throwing the football.
You don't.
And instead of just, hey, let's chew up some clock and let's move down the football field.
And let's get drives going. And not just that, too. Let's just talk about it from a defensive aspect, too. You're one-dimensional. They know what you're doing. Right. If you're running the ball one time, you're telling the defense, we're not even going to try to run. So you're just telling them how you're going to play. To where, like I said, you run the ball, it changes things. And then you start running the ball, those safeties have to start creeping up. And then a guy like Smith can beat him over the top. Or look, Quez Watkins has had a nice year playing over the top. It's going to help a guy like Goddard and play action. And like I said, the biggest thing is it's going to help your quarterback. It's going to help your offense. It just opens everything up. Look at how the Titans have been playing for years now. You get Derrick Henry going, and then it opens up the passing game. Coach, I can see you wanted to say something good.
Yeah, I just think especially against a team today who's terrible against the run. They're terrible against the run. And, they're coming high off a big win against Denver, emotional win. And now now they're going to be in front of the home crowd with that. And I think it's imperative for you to, run the football and keep the crowd out of it.
No, I agree 100%. I really do. And if you look at the Chargers game specifically, that's what the Chargers did. They ran Eckler. And if you look, that's not the Chargers game. The Chargers really like to throw the ball. But when they played the Raiders, they ran the football. A lot of screen passes, and they kind of took it to the Raiders. And look, the Raiders, Crosby, nice, he's a good end, but that's their personnel. You need to run on them. They got a fast defense, a little bit of a smaller defense up front. You need to pound the rock against them. You need to take it to them. And with the offensive line, that's what they want to do. They want to take it to the Raiders. Now, guys, I want to get – because it involves the Raiders, I want to get into this a little bit. So now we had talked last week. The NFL basically said, the investigation was over. There was no more emails going to come out. And then this week, Congress now states they think all the emails should be released. The NFL hasn't really come back and said anything, but I don't think this would be good for the NFL. To me, with Congress, I think we have more pressing things to worry about in the country. I don't want to get political here, but I think we have more pressing things.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I think it's a witch hunt a little bit. And look, if you're going to open up all the NFL's emails, what are we going to open up? All companies' emails, like,
right.
Look, there's still private things, and privacy does matter. And like, what are you going to do with it? Is it going to be anybody who's made one mistake or two mistakes in the last 10 years, or said something that maybe wasn't considered unsensitive 8 years ago that now is, and they're going to have to get fired and lose their job, like, because I'm sure there's going to be more things that would be considered inappropriate in there. I think what they need to do is, deal with the Washington football team. There are some rumors that Dan Snyder was the one who was involved with the Gruden thing. I don't see why that would happen unless, maybe he didn't like Gruden's brother. I don't know. I don't know why he would do that, because you think it could open more to what's going on with him. But no, to me, I don't understand it. I think they should just, let the NFL do it internally. I understand Gruden wants answers, and I respect that, and to that sense. But I think Gruden would agree. I don't think he wants to see any of his colleagues, get the treatment that he did.
Absolutely. And plus, sorry, go ahead, Stizz.
No, I'm sorry. All I know is I just going to say something funny. As I hope to God they don't look into my work emails.
Yeah.
There's a lot of suspect ones, and I might not be working there anymore.
Well, I just think that if the Congress gets involved, and like you said, I think there's more pressing things than to worry about what NFL emails are about. But I also think that then it comes out that it was a witch hunt, because I kind of think it was, and you have to go with that. So
yeah, well, and to me, that's the only thing that's really kind of the question is, I don't know. It's just weird, like, why John Gruden? Because I'm sure there's plenty of emails in there that, and that's the one thing. And if they want to look at it from that angle, I don't have a problem with it. But just that angle, I don't think you need to release every email that was considered insensitive. But yeah, if they want to look into why John Gruden's a patsy or whatever going on, I don't have a problem with that, because and he said the truth will come out. So there's something that because he had a press conference this week. So I'm curious to see what happens with all that. Now, Coach, I guess it's time we get.
Hold on, I got a guest that's going to join us for the.
Okay, we're talking about that.
Hold on a second.
Let's see.
Let's. I got to get some of the.
We love guest star appearances in our
show.
Oh
yeah, we got to get.
We go from Coach Muddle to Coach Muffle.
Yeah,
the transition period. I love it. Oh,
there he is.
All right, welcome, Giant fans. Because this is what we've had to resort to.
Yes.
This is exactly us and what we've had to resort to. Okay? Because this is how I'll be watching the 1:00 football game against the Carolina Panthers. Because, we are now Cleveland East. How bad is it that we have to put the bags on our head?
Yeah, honestly, Coach, the looks improvement, I think.
You 100%.
Now, Coach, obviously, let me ask you this, Coach: can Joe Judge keep his job?
Yeah, he can if he wins out. I just don't see it.
Wins out? I mean,
you still got to play Kansas City.
Okay, Coach, the Giants finish 8-8. They're 1-5 right now. If they go 7-3 down the stretch, do you keep Joe Judge?
Honestly, it depends on the new general manager.
Well, okay.
Honestly, I think not. I think when you hire a new general manager, I think he has to bring in his own coach.
Right.
So I think that has to be that they're kind of hand in hand. They're married together. And I think you see the successful teams bring in a general manager, they bring in their own coach, and go from there. I think that's where it starts. So,
what's up, Di? I don't know what he's asking me, but now, Stizz, what do you think? Do you think Joe Judge keeps his job?
I think he keeps it for the rest of this year, but I think next year you have to start off fresh. I think you start off fresh with a new regime, and you really look into what you have here and what you can trade away and what you can bring in. I think it's going to be a whole new fresh season.
I don't have it with me. I don't have my.
I see what you're doing.
No, I think
What did you do? Cut the hole out of the glory hole? Take it home with you? What?
You're an idiot.
Nevada Nick took me out to get to 5-time champ this week, Coach. Yeah, very upset going for the record, and Nevada Nick took me out.
Really? Wow.
Him and his new buddy, 5-time Cheese Curl Drew.
Cheese Curl Drew.
Now, in regards to Joe Judge, I don't think he can keep his job. I think PR wise, everything. I just think the Giants need top to bottom. I think it's going to be a blow up situation. I really do. I think everything. I think you're going to see quarterback, GM, coach. I mean, maybe they bring Danny Dimes back as a placeholder, but I wouldn't want to pay him. I think it's a complete blow up. I just don't see with this team how you would get to 8-8. I really don't.
You're saying after the season's over now, not
right. No, yeah. I don't think they fire before the season's over. No, right. I agree with you. I think
I agree.
Yeah, but I really don't see, even if he did what he did last year, where they, because they started 1-5 last year as well, they go on a run and make it interesting and still finish under 500. I think he loses his job. I think that, honestly, we've heard, coach will tell you about the owner kicking trash cans. And, look, the fans are very unhappy. And I think New York and Philly, they're different situations where the fans put immense pressure on the ownership. And look, you saw it with Doug Peterson, 3 years removed from winning a Super Bowl. He had been in the playoffs every year. The 1 year he don't make the playoffs, he was out. And, he had one bad year and he was gone. And, look, with the Giants now, you're talking about 2 pretty bad years. Look, it looked like Joe Judge had the Giants progressing, and now it kind of looks the other way. They're regressing, and I think that's the biggest problem. Would you agree, Coach?
Yeah, I do, because we had a top 10 or top 15 defense last year, and we thought that was the base of the turnaround. You win with defense, and now we're sold a bag of goods. I mean, this defense is horrible. They can't stop anybody, and I've been saying for years, where's the pass rush? Where's the pass rush? Right. And I don't care how good these corners are supposed to be for the New York Giants. If you have no pass rush, then it's terrible. They can't do anything. So
and two, Coach, you can have all these weapons: Saquon Barkley, Kadarius Toney, Kenny Golladay, who can't get on the field, but Sterling Shepard. But if your offensive line can't block, you're not going to be able to do anything. And so it's the same thing on the other side.
Well, and here's a bigger indictment on Dave Gettleman. Was the Thursday night football game when you had a undrafted free agent go out and rush for over 100 and some odd yards with a backup offensive line. I mean, how do you justify the second overall pick, which I'm sorry, that's a bust. Saquon Barkley is a bust. We are year 4 and he has played 1 season. That is a bust to me.
Yeah, Sammy says it's going to be a long day for Washington and New York.
Sure is.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I would agree.
Man, going against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers today. I'll tell you.
I would agree. Now, guys, I want to get to the 2 best divisions in football right now, and they're both out west, in my opinion: the NFC West and the AFC West. I'll start with the NFC West. Who do you guys got winning the NFC West? Now, I only put 2 teams, but I think it's going to be obviously Rams or the Cardinals. Both out to great starts. Cardinals, obviously, the only undefeated last team. Rams 5-1. I'll start with you, Coach. Who do you got winning the NFC West, the Rams or the Cardinals? Or if you want to go Niners or Seahawks, you can too, but I don't see that.
No, I think, and honestly, I think right now it's got to be the Arizona Cardinals. They're playing really good football. They've already beaten the Rams at if I'm correct, wasn't that in LA? So that makes it even tougher for the Rams to have to make that win up and come away with it. So I think it's the Cardinals division and everybody else is chasing them.
Coach, you can take that bag off. We're done with the Giants now if you want. Although it's a better look, so you can leave it on too. I much rather look at that bag than your face. So.
Yeah.
Stizz, who do you got?
Listen, the crazy thing is before you get to that is I just watched our ratings. I mean, just skyrocket when Coach started talking about the Giants. Put that bag on his head. Unbelievable. I mean, the numbers just went up. It was like a turnstile. Hey, listen, guys. I'm back at the Rams. I'm staying with what I said. It's 5-1. 5-1. Listen, they both got cake matchups this weekend. You know what I mean? Arizona's got Houston. The Rams have Detroit. Both high double digit 16, 18-point favorites. They should both win. But listen, the Rams still have to play Arizona again. So I think when that happens, I mean, they're going to get their revenge. I mean, it's really who blinks.
Yeah, Coach, anything you can do about the background noise?
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Derek, is that better? Is that better?
Well,
I try to get the crowd down a little bit.
Quiet the crowd. I like it.
The peanut gallery.
I got a peanut gallery over
I'm
here.
gonna go. I agree with Stizz. I mean, I think it's. I'm not a Cardinal doubter, but I think the Rams are a better team. And if you look too at the schedules, the Rams have a pretty easy schedule the next few games too. The Cardinals are going to lose a game here eventually in the next. I don't think it's today, obviously,
right?
But I really do think it's the Rams over the course of the season. It's going to be neck and neck, though. I mean, these are two very good teams, but I do think the Rams will beat them when they play next time. I don't care if it's in Arizona. I think they will get them back. I know Arizona smoked them, but we all know that was a spot game. The Rams were coming off a really big win against the Buccaneers. I think they were on a high and came out with a little bit of a letdown. Now, guys, I want to go to the AFC West, which I think is a real interesting division. That's been the Chiefs division for I think they won 5 straight years. Who do you got? I mean, personally, I'll start with myself. I think the Chiefs finally go down, and I really didn't think this. But now watching that defense, I think the Chargers are going to win that division. I think the Chiefs still find a way to make the playoffs just because of that explosive offense, but it just doesn't seem to be their year. I think the Chargers may actually win this division. Well, I'm going to start with Stizz. Stizz, what do you think?
Man, I'll tell you what, I hate to say it, and it's so hard to say, but I actually agree with you. I mean, how do you go against Kansas City? But look, I got to go on the eye test this year. And the eye test is telling me their defense can't stop nobody. They're making too many mistakes.
Right.
They're scoring 30 points a game, 35 points a game, which is great. But listen, if you can't stop anybody and the other team's scoring 38, then you're in trouble, and you're giving up the ball too many times. And the Chargers are starting, besides last week, I mean, they got smoked by Baltimore,
Right.
It is what it is. But Chargers look like they're kind of fixing some of their mistakes from last year. We talked about them last year, how the Chargers, I mean, they could be easily a playoff team, for one. For two, how many games did they lose that they were winning? They didn't lose it at the end of the game. 5, 6 games, I think it was last year.
Right.
And they may have only lost by a field goal or less. I mean, they clean their mistakes up, and I think they're well on their way. At 4-2 now, I think they have a good shot if they clean up their mistakes. And if Kansas City keeps on playing the way they are.
Coach, who do you got?
I'm sticking with the Chargers, like you, Nick.
Okay.
Coach Beatty, friend of the program. I can't knock back my boy. And they're playing really good. I mean, granted, they came up against Baltimore and really got whacked, but they are still a young team, and getting that that travel from east to west, I think.
Right.
But I think as the season goes on, I think they'll be fine, and we'll see them. That's probably a playoff rematch somewhere along the line.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the Chiefs too, their struggles have been going back to last year. I think if I'm correct, I think the Washington last week was the first game they won by more than a touchdown in a long time. Remember they had that streak, Stizz, where they kept on winning by only one possession.
Yeah.
And look, people think, Kansas City's back now, but they still had 3 turnovers in the first half. And look,
don't worry, they got the Giants next week, so they'll be back on track.
Well, and look, I think that's a part of what helped them last week. That Washington offense isn't good. I mean, you're seeing now Heineke. Look, he's showing what he is. And that all. Look, the Redskins' offense wasn't good last year. They won because of that defense, and that defense isn't what it was. So that was the issue. But I just think the Chiefs, their issues are going to show this year. I do think just because you have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and that explosive offense, they're going to win games. But I think somehow, some way, the Chargers are going to find a way to, obviously win that division. And then, obviously, like I said, the Chiefs still make the playoffs. Now, I want to get into the Ravens a little bit. They started 0-1. And look, I'm not going to lie. I've been, off the Ravens this year. And look, I got to admit, they proved me wrong. I mean, they won 5 straight. They look really good. And one thing that's a little different, I know they're still a run-first team, obviously, and run the ball. But, they've always been the best rushing team every year. This year, they're 4th in rushing. They're 10th in passing. So they're doing it a little bit differently. I want to ask you guys, is this the year Lamar could possibly win it all? I'll start with you, Coach.
I think it is. I think it is because, and you've heard me say a lot of times, I think that Lamar Jackson can throw the football.
Okay.
And put him in the situation, make him throw the football. But again, we're talking about the NFL's version of the wing tee.
Right.
And they don't throw the football enough. But now they've changed some things. You got to give Greg Roman some credit where he's changed some things around. They're throwing the ball, they're opening it up, and I think it's a great mix. And I think you're gonna see Baltimore down at the end.
Okay. All right, Stizz.
I mean, I was off the Baltimore Ravens as well. Just like you, Nick. That they're playing well. I'm liking what I'm seeing. They are a run-first offense, we all know, and they're kind of spilling in all these veterans, dink and dunking all over the place. They still have to go against the beast of the East, in my opinion, in the Buffalo Bills. So it's going to be a hell of a matchup. One funny thing, you talk about first place in the AFC North on the line today. What would we say? We would say, oh, it's got to be, Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Or it's got to be this year, we would have thought Cleveland and Baltimore.
Right.
But it's Baltimore and Cincinnati.
Right.
Who would have thought a 4-2 against a 5-1 and first place in the AFC North is on the line today? Cincinnati's playing well, and I like it. I like these bottom teams starting to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, that's what's great about the NFL, Stizz.
Yeah, absolutely. It helps the NFL for sure.
Now, look, and I'm not a Lamar hater, but I still think there's a ceiling on the Ravens. I don't think it's changed. I think Lamar's he's a top 5 quarterback. He is just what he does. But I do think, and I wonder, and I've always said, if you gave him that number 1 wide receiver, I think things may change. He does not have, they bring in Sammy Watkins and everybody's like, Sammy Watkins is a role player,
And he's hurt again.
Right, and he's hurt again. And look, with the Chiefs, he was playing with Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Andy Reid calling the plays, and the best quarterback in football as his quarterback. So, that's going to make you a lot better. I still think the Ravens have a ceiling. I do. And look what the Bills did to him last year. I don't think that's going to change. I like Lamar. I think he has improved. I do. But to me, unless you really get him some weapons on the outside that can help Lamar, I don't think, like I said, I think they're going to win games. Look, the kid wins games. There's no doubt about it. But I really still think there's going to be a ceiling. And when you get into that gauntlet of the playoffs and you got to beat 3 good teams in a row, I don't think Lamar's going to be able to do it. And I think that's what the ceiling is. And like I said, until you get him that number 1 guy, and even then, because Lamar just, he's just inconsistent. I mean, even last game, he only threw for 100 and some yards. And that was a blowout of the Chargers. No,
it's a product of the offense is why he's inconsistent. But I just think that's what the product of the offense is. I really think you're off base with that. I think Lamar, you give him a number 1 receiver, I think he blows the top off of it.
No,
he might passes Patrick Mahomes.
But I wouldn't go that far. But that's
why? Because he can run. He runs. He's a better runner than Patrick.
Oh well, yeah, of course, but he's not a better thrower. I mean, and that's
all right.
You don't think he's a way better thrower?
He may be a better thrower, but I still think Lamar would be over the top, and you're not giving him enough credit.
Okay. Okay. Well, I just said that's a bold statement. Let's get into our bold predictions for the week. Mine, I'm going to go with, and I think this is pretty bold. I think somehow, some way, and I'm going to admit I'm not personally going to bet it. But I think somehow, some way, the Texans are going to find a way to cover against the Cardinals. I don't know why. 18.5 points. You could be up 24 points late. You're not worried, and they just boom get a BS touchdown coming down the thing. Somehow, some way, I think. And look, too, you know how it is. Cardinals already. Every single guy in that locker room has already put a W in the column. You know it. We all know that.
Yeah.
So you have that to fight against too. You saw it yesterday with Oklahoma and Kansas. Everybody blows out Kansas. Oklahoma didn't come out yesterday. They were down 10 points at half. Ended up coming back and winning the second half. But, these are the things that happen. So, yeah, my bold prediction is that somehow, some way, the Texans find a way to cover 18.5 points. Stizz, what's yours?
You know what might bode well for you too, Nick, is they may be looking ahead. Thursday they got Green Bay on a great Thursday night game for once. Since the first week of the season.
That's a Thursday game next week.
That's a Thursday night game. That's going to be a great game, and they may be looking ahead to that. And like you said, they already chalked it up as a win on their chalkboards. And man, we've all been a part of them backdoor covers, as bettors in the industry. We've seen it, we've hated it. We want to throw shit at our TV, and it might happen again. So yeah, I'm with you. Listen, my bold statement: as bad as Kansas City's been playing and as tight as they've been playing, coming off a loss, I think they beat Tennessee by double digits this week.
Okay.
Chris Jones is back. I think they find – this is crazy, but I think they somehow find a way to slow down Derrick Henry a little bit. And I think they get ahead early. I think they get ahead quick. Tennessee coming off a short week, coming off an emotional win on Monday night against Buffalo. I think Kansas City really puts it to them, and I think they win by double digits this week. Line's 4.5. It's not that, high of a spread, but I could see them 10+.
Now, Coach, your bold prediction. You want to put your bag back on your head?
Stizz, you are a little crazy.
I know. I am.
But yeah, I think this is the only time the Giants can win this week. This is the only win I see for the New
rest
York
of the year.
Giants. The rest of the year.
Wow.
There's no way, because come on, and no, as much as I like Sam Darnold, big fan, but look, the Giants and the Carolina team are both, blueprints of how not to build your team around a running back. Because, look, McCaffrey is out, and they've shit the bed. The Giants can't do anything they can't do anything with or without him. It doesn't matter. But, again.
But my question to you think they can beat the Panthers but can't beat the Eagles or the Redskins?
We've already seen they can't beat the Redskins, but I don't know. I mean, the Eagles are a good football team. Can their coach them up?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're a better football team.
No, you're right.
Because if someone gets in Sirianni's ear and tells him he better run the damn football and they start winning some football games, I don't think the Giants beat them. You know, and the Redskin game will probably be will be close, but I don't know that the Giants have the wherewithal to pull one out.
So coach goes from what a true fan, bag on the head that they're going to win today.
I got my fan. I got to go with my fan. Hey, I'm sorry, I don't have an alternate team to go with today.
Yeah, that is a bold statement. Look, I mean, Panthers start 3-0. Coach had, Sam Darnold being the Super Bowl winner, Super Bowl MVP.
No, I just had him playing at an MVP level.
But no, they lose 3 straight now. And look, a part of that definitely is McCaffrey, and they lose the corner. Although, too, let's not forget, they got Stephon Gilmore. I don't think he's back yet this week, but eventually he's going to play. But losing J.C. Horn and McCaffrey come to play. Me and Stizz said last week, I think, if they have McCaffrey, I don't think they lose to the Eagles. I really don't. I think that's a W. Me and Stizz watched that game down in AC, and I think, McCaffrey would have made that a different game. I love Chubba Hubba, but McCaffrey's just a whole other animal. Oh, yeah. I really think they would have found a way to win that game. So, yeah, but look, this is a big game for the Panthers. Like I said, you win 3 straight. Now you lost 3 straight. Kind of same thing with the Broncos. It's a big game today. You want to end that slide and turn that season around. Stizz, any update on McCaffrey? I mean, obviously, I know he's on IR, but will he be coming back in 2 weeks after the 3-week stint?
You know what? They haven't said much. They haven't said much about it. I mean, I don't – listen, he was set to come back week 5. Okay. And they kept him out for a precautionary reason. They said he practiced all week. He looked good. He was ready to go. They held him out one more week. Next thing you know, week 6, he went through practice and I guess tweaked his ankle again, and, or his hamstring rather, and that was it. Shoved him on IR. I don't know. I haven't heard much, to be honest with you.
Now, Dolphins. Let's talk about the Dolphins a little bit. I love the Dolphins. I really did last year. And I thought what Flores had done was just a great job. He really turned the culture over there. And look, they had a tough schedule to start the year, no doubt about it. They've had some injuries. Howard's been hurt, some receivers. Will Fuller's been in and out. Byron Jones has been in and out. So there's been some, bad luck in the injury front as well. But, a lot of rumors they're the favorite for Deshaun Watson. And obviously trade deadline's coming up. I think it's November 4th.
2nd, I think it is.
Oh, November 2nd? Okay, sorry. November 2nd. Would you make that trade if you were the Dolphins and do it now? I'm going to say I'll go first. I would. I really would. I think now. I know it's not a big stretch of games to get a look at, but I don't think Tua is the guy. I really don't. I don't think there's enough weapons on that offense. And even with him, I don't know. There's just something, sometimes you see a player and you don't think he has it. I don't think Tua has it. I really don't. I think he's an accurate passer, but I really think the Dolphins need to make this move and try to get that team to the next level. So I think if I was the Dolphins, I would make the trade. Coach, would you make the trade or would you wait till the offseason?
I would. Hey, Mary, I think that's the national game this week on Fox, so I don't think you should have a problem getting it. So, but back to that, I'm making the trade. I'm pulling the trigger because you know what? If you get into the offseason and you wait, I mean, if I'm Flores and I'm going to the I want to keep my job, so I want them now because they have the talent to be winning some football games,
right?
And you need to make that move because Deshaun Watson is active; he's taking up a roster spot, so.
Right? And I think he takes your team to another level. And then too, when you get into the offseason, you could, obviously it's going to be attractive for teams to go to Miami. It really is. You got your franchise QB, you got a head coach in Flores that I think a lot of people have faith in. It's just kind of been a weird year for them, but I still have faith in the Dolphins. And I think this move kind of stabilizes the organization and gets them headed back in the right direction because you know how it is, Coach. You don't want to, you had a good way. You don't want to start going the other way again if you're the Dolphins. Right. Stizz, would you make the move?
I mean, Tua was a fifth pick overall last year. It's it's kind of hard to get away from that already. Brian Flores came out saying that he was happy with Tua. He's happy with his quarterback. Now I know sometimes you can't put too much in the coach speak, but me myself personally, I wouldn't, only because of I'd be afraid of all the baggage that comes along with it. Okay. And I know that the talents, beyond compare. Right. But I'd be afraid of that baggage.
Okay. No, I get it. I really do. Now, look, a lot of talk too about the Cowboys now. Especially out of Dallas. Dallas is going to win 7 Super Bowls in a row now. Sure. Now, let me ask you this though. I really do think this team's improved. I really do. This is a good Dallas team. Still have a couple questions on defense, although I love Diggs and Parsons. I mean, their offense you can't question. You just can't question that offense with that offensive line, running game, and receivers. But, Coach, do you think the Cowboys could get back to the NFC Championship game possibly this year for the first time since I think it's 1996?
No.
Okay.
I don't think they get past, because let's look at the gauntlet you're going to have to go through. You're either playing Arizona or the Rams as a wild card team, as that before you get there. So, or you might have to play Tampa Bay or Green Bay. One of those. Right. Those are those are 4 opponents that you're going to have to play 2 of those to get there.
Right. Stizz?
And that's the third team.
Stizz?
I agree. I have to agree with Coach. That's a tough ladder to climb. I'll tell you. Yeah. I mean, I think they win a division easily. Right. As long as Dak stays upright. But, after that, you maybe get that one home game, that one division game at home, won the first week. But then when you got to play them other teams like Coach mentioned, Arizona, Rams, Bucks, Packers, I don't see it happening. Yeah. No, I agree with you guys. I think that would be just too much of a gauntlet for them. But I do think this is a team to be reckoned with in the next few years. I really do. And the one advantage they will have, and the Packers have it too, being in those weaker divisions, and I guess you could maybe say it with the Bucks a little bit too, but especially Packers and Cowboys, they might have a better record and home field advantage, because obviously the Cowboys being in the NFC East, Packers being in the NFC North, you're just not playing the competition the Rams and the Cardinals are. So that's one advantage they may get. But, I just think they're going to, I don't think this is the year just yet. But the Cowboys in the next few years definitely are going to be a dangerous team. All right, Stizz, let's get to your fantasy advice. You want to go with some starts of the week to start with? Yeah, absolutely. Apparently Roger Goodell could care less about Stizz's fantasy team. Putting six teams on bye this week. 5 of them pretty prominent teams: Buffalo, Dallas, Chargers, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, and the lowly Jags. But all big names are on bye this week. And if you're a fantasy football owner, you see that you're in trouble. You're kind of scrambling. Right. For starts, sits, waivers, everything. But this is the route I want to go. I'm going to go with 2 tight ends this week as my starts, and they're both playing in the same game. I'm going to start with Mike Gaseki, Miami Dolphins tight end. Last 5 games, he's averaging 6 catches, 68 yards. Week 7, he plays an Atlanta defense that ranks 19th against tight ends. Tua came back last week, and he looked his way early and often, if you remember that London game.
Yep.
9 targets, 8 catches, 115 yards for Gaseki. So, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck with making hard decisions. And I'm going Mike Gaseki first. And then I'm going across the field, and I'm going to, our rookie that we talked about that was drafted early in leagues, Kyle Pitts from the Atlanta Falcons, right across the field. Week 5, he's coming off a bye week this week. In week 5, we finally seen the breakout performance we were looking for. Versus the Jets, 10 targets, 9 catches, 119 yards, and a touchdown. That's what we were looking for from the beginning of the season. It took him a little while to kind of get in the groove. And he's going against the Miami defense that's ranked 17th against the tight end position. So 2 starts that, I think that you can put in your lineup and you can, kind of weasel some points out of them.
All right, Stizz, on to your what are your sits of the week?
Coach is probably going to like my first one. I got two today, and Coach is probably going to agree full-fledged with my first one. But listen, I'm sitting Daniel Jones this week. Listen, last.
Sorry, Stizz, had to get.
That's great. That's great.
What's
Look
up,
at that
Brian?
profile picture. You talk about heads. Jesus Christ. Like a big-headed cabbage over there. Listen, Daniel Jones, last two matchups, less than 5 fantasy points in both matchups. It's just disgusting if you're a fantasy owner. 0 touchdowns in them 2 games. It's rough. He's going against a tough Panthers defense.
Yeah.
They're allowing less than 200 yards passing, 196.8 to be exact, which is second in the NFL. Stout defense he's got to go against, man. He's in trouble this week. Look, he's without Barkley again. He's without Galladay. He's without Kadarius Toney, who actually looked good the last 2 games. Now, Toney went out early, in the last week. But after he had a couple catches for 30 yards right away and had a monster week the week before. Sterling Shepard, questionable. Darius Slayton, game time decision. I don't know, man. He don't have a lot of weapons to go with, guys. So we're gonna put him on the pine, and we're gonna see what comes back. Maybe he's still having concussion issues. I mean, don't forget 2 weeks ago he came from that bad concussion. They put him in last week, and we seen he didn't look too good. Right. He didn't look too good. Second guy on my sit list, man. I'm going Khalil Herbert, the rookie from Chicago. Damien Williams has a possibility of playing this week. He was on the COVID-19 list last week. He has a possibility to play. They listed him as questionable. He may be a game-time decision. Watch out for that. You're going to want to avoid this backfield in general, no matter who it is starting, no matter who it is playing. Week 7 matchup against Tampa Bay, top 5 versus the run this year. We all know Tampa Bay's pass defense is a little suspect, but, man, their run defense, you can't run on that team. Only allowing 2 running backs to run for more than 40 yards so far this year in Tampa Bay. So, sit Khalil Herbert or Damien Williams as well, that whole backfield.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you play that Buccaneers run defense, you definitely, they just don't let teams run the ball. They really don't. I'd love to see them in Baltimore play just for the, because, that's what Baltimore does. And obviously Tampa, nobody stops to run like Tampa Bay. Stizz, any more sets, or are we going to get onto the waiver wires?
No, we can get right to the waiver wire / free agent part.
Okay.
I got 2 as well. Listen, it's a shame that Cleveland played on Thursday night. It's after the fact, obviously. You can't really speak too much of it when the guy has a good game. But Dearness Johnson would have been my number 1 priority on the waivers. You're missing Kareem Hunt. You're missing Nick Chubb. You're going behind that bomb-out offensive line there. And look, Coach spoke of it earlier. The guy gets 146 yards, behind that line. Basically a nobody, Dearness Johnson. He was, he played for him last year. He really didn't do much when Nick Chubb went out, but he really bombed out. But, okay, we can't talk about it because the game already finished and we already know the stats. So we'll go with J.D. McKissick is going to be my number 1 priority this week. Washington Redskins running back. He's a pass catcher, and the thing I'm intrigued about is Antonio Gibson's playing on a fractured shin, and he's been playing on it for the last 4 weeks. I think it's only a matter of time that, man, that shin either gives out on him and he goes down and he's out on IR for a few weeks, or the coaching staff just says, listen, man, we're going to sit you. We're going to sit you for a week or 2. We're going to get you, through the bye week, and we're going to get by with what we have instead of really taking a chance of this guy Gibson, who is very talented, of being out for quite a while. Listen, McKissick, 3 double-digit fantasy outputs this season. Last week versus Kansas City, and, we talked about Kansas City's defense. They can't stop anybody. 10 targets in the passing game, 8 catches for 65 yards, which I like for a fantasy, for a PPR league. That's what you want out of your running backs that you have to kind of plug and play. Keep an eye on this rookie, Jarrett Patterson, his name is. He's a guy, if Antonio Gibson goes down, he'll be your main running attack. with J.D. McKissick as the pass catcher, obviously. Keep an eye on him. I'm going to go out in the realm also this week. With all these teams on bye, you really got to kind of doink somebody out of the waiver wire. And it's hard, man, because there's nobody there. I'm going in a Monday night matchup with the Saints, New Orleans Saints, and I'm going Marquez Callaway, wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints. Coming off an 85-yard, 2-touchdown game versus Washington in Week 5. They had high expectations for me. He looked great in preseason.
We talked about him in the beginning of the year.
Listen, we talked about it, in the beginning of the season, and I really had high expectations. I guess what you see in preseason, you can't always count on. Jameis Winston, my guy, famous Jameis, is just kind of dinking and dunking all over the place.
Right.
Thomas still on the shelf.
Any word?
Doesn't look like he's going to come back for the next couple of weeks.
Wow.
So, I'm thinking Week 9 at the earliest, probably Week 10. Listen, Seattle's defense ranks 24th versus wide receivers, so it's a good spot for him. And, if he could come out, they're coming off a bye week as well last week. So if he could come out with some type of, umph like he did in Week 5, I think he's a sneaky play to get on your fantasy team if you're looking for a wide receiver.
Okay. Yeah, Brian, man, it looks like he just checked in for your fantasy advice. He must be really. He said he was a. He called himself a mush, so he must have been tuning in at the right time. I mean, look, we get to Stizz's fantasy and prop bets and my picks, man. The ratings just, or maybe it's Coach took the bag off. Man, they just dropped. Look, so, all right, now we're gonna get into my picks. I got one. I got 6 picks this week. I'm gonna start with my lock of the week, and then I'll let you guys give after yours afterwards. But my lock of the week and my strongest play, guys. I thought about making this my lock of the year. We all know my team's lock of the year. That was a winner. I really like this game, but I didn't pull the trigger. I thought about it. Ask Stizz. I said to him a couple of days ago. I was thinking about it. And I like the Bengals plus 6.5 today. I would tell you too, buy the hook, get a touchdown. You don't want to lose by 7 and say, hey man, I could have spent an extra, whatever, and at least pushed. I actually got him at 7.5. But I love the Bengals today. Look, Bengals are a good team. That Jamar Chase, Burrow's hookup has been good, leading the league with 40-yard plays. I think they have 4 touchdowns over 40 yards. And what a lot of people aren't talking about is the Bengals defense is 6 with yards per play. Against they're doing well. They're a lot better. I like the Bengals plus 6.5 today. Look, I know I've been going against the Ravens, but I really like this spot for the Bengals. I think it's going to be tough to win the game outright. But look, they're 4-2. Joe Burrows is playing well. I think they find a way to keep this game close and cover 6.5. I love the Bengals this week. I really do. So that's my lock of the week. I like the Bengals. Then I'm going to give out. How can't you like this over today? Chiefs Titans. You're talking about Chiefs obviously really struggle on defense. Titans, secondary very banged up. They just lost their first round pick, Caleb Farley, for the year to a torn ACL. Going on a short week too. I think we're going to see this a lot of points. I see these. Honestly, I think both these teams are going to be in the 30s. So I love Chiefs Titans over 57. I'm going to go to my team. I really think this is a nice spot for them. I like the Eagles plus 3 today. I think they're going to run the football for once. Please, God. I'm praying. I've been saying it for 2 years, but I really think today's going to be the day you see them finally turn around and hand the ball off finally and let Miles Sanders become a part of this offense. So I'm going to take the Eagles plus 3. I think the Eagles find a way to win the game outright. Then I'm going to go to tonight's game. I really like this game too. I like the Colts plus 4. You're getting Quentin Nelson back now. T.Y. Hilton, comes back last week. Obviously, has a quad injury. He will not be playing. But I like the direction the Colts are headed in. I really do. They're running the football. Wentz is starting to look better. I think, obviously Jimmy G is back tonight. But I think the Colts are going to win this game outright. I really do. I like the Colts. I like the direction they're headed in. I like the Colts +4 tonight. And like I said, if you want to take the risk, go money line. I like the Colts tonight. I really do. I like the direction Carson Wentz is headed. I think we're looking at a streak of some games going to go on here with the Colts until that big game they play against the Titans again. Then I'm going to go to the Dolphins. I know they're a 1-5 team. And I don't like betting bad teams, but the Dolphins won me a lot of games last year. I still think this is a prideful team with a good coach. I think the Dolphins are going to find a way to win today, +2. And not just that, as you know, Stizz, home dogs do bark. The home dogs have been barking this year, getting 2 points at home. Playing
against a junk team too, as well.
Right.
Don't forget.
Exactly. Playing against the Falcons, who, not a great team, like Stizz said. I just think they find a way to win today. I'm going to take the Dolphins +2. Plus Falcons also, too, did just lose their best pass rusher and Dante Fowler for the year as well. On the defense, that's not great as it is. And then I'm going to go with my teaser. We always know I got to give a teaser out every week because I'm a degenerate. I love teasers. And look, my teasers have been one of the things that kept me going this year. It was one of my locks of the year, and it went.
Yeah.
And I do like this teaser. I'm going to go Packers -2. And even though against Stizz's advice, I'm going to take the Patriots -1. I think Stizz has this as a possible upset alert today with those Jets, maybe. But yeah, I'm going to go 2-team teaser, Packers -2, Patriots -1.
Okay.
All right, now, Stizz, your lock of the week.
My lock of the week, I got to go against the Gong Show representative over here, and I got to go with the Carolina Panthers -3. And it's basically for all the reasons I discussed, earlier for sitting Danny Dimes. Right. I mean, they're banged up. They have just nobody to throw to. The Carolina's run defense is unbelievable. They're starting Devontae Booker. I don't know. He's going to have the ball a lot, but I don't think he's going to be able to produce out of it. Right. And Carolina coming off of, like you said, 3 losses in a row. I think they kind of start getting back to, what they're made of with how they started the season out. So I like Carolina -3. There wasn't too much to look at this week,
right.
fellas. I mean, it was a tough week to handicap, that's for sure.
Yeah, Stizz is gracing us with 2 prop bets this week, too. So let's get those from you, too, Stizz.
Yeah, I think I got to go to my money makers because my locks of the week, this is something new for me. And
right.
I'm not doing too well so far. I will admit it. But listen, I had 2 props. And I was going back and forth on them. So I said, you know what? Might as well give them both out. Listen, I'm going to go back to my bread and butter of these field goal kickers. I hit them hard week 4 and week 5 with field goal kickers. So I went back. Nick Folk, kicker for the New England Patriots. Jets are giving up 11.8 fantasy points per game. So that bodes well for at least 2+ field goals, I would think. In my opinion, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. So I think it's going to be a field goal game. I think the last game was 19-17, maybe. I think they played each other. I think that was the final score. So I could see around the same type output again. 2+ field goals, 2+ field goals, which should be no problem for Nick Folk. And that'll be my first one on the slate. The second one, listen, you guys want to blast me. You guys want to fire away at me. I haven't started drinking yet. It's still a little bit early. Haven't started smoking a cigar yet. Still a little early. But, man, boy, this – I almost didn't put this out as my prop bet of the week. I almost put this out as my bold prediction of the week because, God damn, is it bold. I'm going Derrick Henry. Combined yards, that's rushing and receiving, under 147.5. I mean, I got to be nuts. Listen, I'm going to give you his breakdown real quick in the last 5 weeks, over 100 yards in all 5. 143, 130, 157, 113, 182. That's just his rushing yards. And he's been sprinkling in a few receiving, in the meantime. I think for some reason, the Kansas City figures out a way to kind of slow him down, as I spoke earlier, and really get ahead of this game and try to take Derrick Henry out a little bit. You know, he likes the fourth quarter to just run, and it's usually in close games. I see this game being a double-digit, win for Kansas City, and I think they got to get away from the run a little bit, figure out a way to slow them down. And listen, I cross my fingers, I'll say my prayers, and if I hit this, you guys will be calling me a genius. If I lose, you're going to be calling me a dumbass. So there it is.
Especially against that Chiefs defense, Coach. Your lock of the week.
I'm going with. I've got a couple of things I want to throw out before I get to my lock of the week. Okay.
Okay.
So you're hearing it first here. If Bill Belichick loses today, he will not be back as the coach of the Patriots.
Wow.
Okay. He'll finish out the season, but that's my bold, there's my bold prediction for you.
That will be five losses at home if he loses.
Yeah.
Correct, Coach?
Wow.
Right. And I just shout out to David Sills, Delaware kid, went to West Virginia, is on the active roster today for the Giants, finally.
Cool. Yeah.
So, but you know what? I'm going with Atlanta because Miami's terrible. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
better than Giants every week.
Coach uses the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid, right?
That's right. Absolutely. That's exactly. I don't need to put in a lot of analytics. I don't need to consult any alternate teams or anything. I think I'm pretty keep it simple.
Listen, Coach, if your lock wins, that's all you need. Keep
that's right.
Simple. You can just say I gave it. That's it. That's all I need. I don't need to talk about it. I gave my lock, and that's it. They won.
Coach is on a 2-week win streak right now, so
that's
he's
right.
just firing on all cylinders.
There you go, baby.
Oh, God.
All right. Good show, fellas.
Yep.
Good stuff. We appreciate everyone checking us out. Please share it with your friends. Like our pages, or go to YouTube, ring the bell, subscribe. We appreciate all the help. Everybody have fun today. We'll be back tomorrow to recap and enjoy your games. And we'll see everybody tomorrow. Thanks.